Well, here we are. Another Kimspiracy. A lot of time has passed since our last one, almost a year to be exact. And I was nearly crippled with what in the world am I going to talk about? There's been so much that's happened. Just run down a few of them. We'll do a little review here. We know now that the Democrats are insane.
Impeach 45! How's that look now?
Someone in their party thought it was a good idea to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken out of a bucket on the floor to prove a point. Didn't work for me. Maybe it worked for you. We know that we've got some governors who wear blackface.
A photograph in Virginia Governor Ralph Northam's medical school yearbook page is causing controversy.
Is an advocate for a child being murdered after they're born alive as a result of a botched abortion.
If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired.
There are people on American soil who actually think that that is right and moral.
It's a baby. If someone was raped and she gave birth and she decided to kill her 3-year-old child.
We have an immigration crisis. We have caravans of people trying to get over the border that we can't get funded because the Democrats are back to point A, insane, and will do anything to keep Trump from getting any kind of political points. They don't care about people. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about those children in the cages that Obama built.
My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. Congress has said, here's the law when it comes to those who are undocumented, and they allocate a whole bunch of money for enforcement.
They don't really care about them. They don't care about black people. They don't care about white people. They don't care about anybody but themselves. That should be evident by now. We've got the Mueller report, which proved what we all already knew, is that we're not Russian. I did vote for Trump, and I'm not Russian. I know some people from Russia. Like, I've seen shows on YouTube of people from Russia.
So in the zombie apocalypse, I'm trying to survive, and I found the can, the meat.
But I'm not Russian. And we saw that the Mueller report kind of confirmed what every sane thinking American already knew, was that we just didn't want to elect Hillary Clinton.
There you see her apparently almost falling.
We've got North Korea. We're shaking hands with them. They're still spitting off bombs. Not real sure what's going on with that. Antifa. We've got these thugs, these panty-wearing men, and they're all dressed in black. There's some women. I'm sure they identify as something else, but whatever. Biologically, they're a woman. You see them dressed in black. Their faces are covered. Again, they're cowards, but they do that so that it makes prosecution harder.
One of our points of unity is that we don't depend on the cops or the courts to do the work of opposing white supremacy.
And we've got a government currently that is dragging their feet on declaring them a domestic terrorist organization. So that's where we stand on that. We've got measles outbreak, evidently, and it's all because of you crazy anti-vaxxers that I could hold in my hand. And it has nothing to do with the unvaccinated children in cages that Obama built that are pouring over the border that the Democrats won't let us close or build a wall for. It has nothing to do with that, but they have good news is pass tougher anti-vaccination laws that will make it more difficult for the handful of mamas who think that the evidence that suggests some vaccines do cause increased rates of autism, it makes it harder for them to go about and live their American life as opposed to addressing the issue of tuberculosis and typhus and all the things coming over the border that are infecting Americans.
Lawmakers in California have made major changes to a vaccine bill known as Senate Bill 276. The change will now allow health officials to have more control over medical exemption for vaccinations by doctors and schools.
We've got censorship across the big platforms. That can't be denied. Some like to say, well, it's not just conservatives. Yeah, they censored Louis Farrakhan. I get it, but that was cover fire. And we've got whistleblowers from Google, Facebook, that are saying this is the agenda, this is the plan. They do not want Donald Trump to ever happen again.
First, I was wondering whether this is something that I had, a couple working theories. I was like, maybe this is an independent versus mainstream thing. Maybe independent figures on the left are experiencing the same kind of deboosting. Mm-hmm. But I didn't see that. I looked at the Young Turks page. I looked at Colin Kaepernick's page. None of them had received the same deboost.
And so maybe it's just a coincidence that only 99.9999% of conservatives get banned or shadow banned or censored completely. I myself was censored from Twitter because I had the audacity to return the favor of advice to a journalist who told middle Americans in 2008 during the financial crisis to learn to code. Well, in light of so much fake news and trust in news sources being at an all-time low among Americans, many have said journalists are getting laid off. I simply offered the same advice that they told me, which was learn to code, and for that I was banned by Twitter. It was deemed harassment, but okay, I'm guilty. We've got homelessness on the rise in American cities. We've got veterans. A lot of those veterans don't have houses, and if it wasn't for the goodness of American spirit and generosity, they probably would be in worse shape than what they are because the government's not helping them. But thank God a lot of organizations are. I know High Socks for Hope recently helped a veteran get into a house. We've got mass shootings. Don't know why. We still don't know how Stephen Paddock got all those weapons up 57 floors or wherever at Mandalay Bay and decided to go crazy on a country concert. We still have no idea what happened there, but good news. There might be a plan because the Trump administration is considering, if you can believe the source, and I do, I've checked it, they are considering launching a social credit score style system that will incorporate information obtained from the same big tech that is censoring conservative voices like Gulag, Apple, Facebook.
This expands the bureaucratic state, the administrative state. I mean, HHS would create another subcommittee or subgroup that would determine whether you're fit to own a gun, a firearm. I mean, think about that. We're going to expand more the administrative state. So, this is kind of an idea that is very inimical to conservatism, to conservatives everywhere. And where are the Republicans? I mean, Mitch McConnell said he's not going to oppose Trump on anything here when it comes to guns.
So if you have an Apple Watch and you say something crazy like, I wish one of those panty-wearing Antifa jokes would come up on me. I wish somebody would. I will go nuts on them. Let's say you said something crazy like, I would river dance on their throat and then karate chop them in their eye. You know what? Boom, I just got a red flag. My social score just went to 0. I can't own a gun. It's a good thing I don't already. The justice system is broken, and I can list 1,000 examples, but I'll give you 3. Hillary Clinton.
Did you wipe this? What, like with a cloth or something?
James Comey.
The Inspector General's report documented how Comey brazenly violated federal and FBI policies by disclosing classified information, writing classified memos, taking them home, and in at least one case, leaking them with the intent that their contents would wind up in the New York Times, further pushing his crusade against Trump along.
And Jussie Smollett.
New images of Jussie Smollett from the night he claimed he was assaulted by 2 men in an apparent hate crime. Police body cam video capturing the embattled actor at his apartment, still wearing the noose he says his attackers put around his neck.
If you need more evidence than that, well, you can, good luck Good luck, because Google has cleaned a lot of history out. They've rewritten history, which is why I bought a set of 1989 encyclopedias. I doubt they're true either, but at least I can have some kind of baseline, since truth changes on a whim. We've got an American city, San Francisco, that has a poop patrol.
There are 65 reports of human poop littering the streets and alleys every single day in San Francisco.
Ew.
They have an actual team of people who get up in the morning, put on their uniform, their reflective vest. They go into the city building. They clock in, swipe, whatever they do, and they go out on the streets, the American streets, and they pick up doo-doo.
So we're going to have a crew that's going to roam around and just try and look for these locations.
Of course, we also know that we've got fake news. You can't trust Fox News. You can't trust CNN. You can't trust MSNBC. You're foolish if you do.
Last night on this show, I discussed information that wasn't ready for reporting. I repeated statements a single source told me about the president's finances and loan documents with Deutsche Bank, saying, if true, as I discussed the information, was simply not good enough. I did not go through the rigorous verification and standards process here at MSNBC before repeating what I heard from my source. Had it gone through that process, I would not have been permitted to report it. I should not have said it on air or posted it on Twitter.
You can't trust anything. And the ones that you could trust have been censored or quarantined or shadow banned. So you have to dig harder and harder and harder to get the truth. So let me just say now that I commit to you that I will do my very best to bring you the truth about certain things that are going to impact yours and your family's life. I'll do the best to my ability to tell you the truth. But honestly, I can't trust it myself. We have companies, corporations who receive the benefit of tax breaks courtesy of the American people who are openly discriminating against customers who may own guns, who may be Christian. Still, nothing happens. And let us not go a step further without mentioning good old Jeffrey Epstein. His life, his death, his suicide with a paper bedsheet, right, and his career. And let's not draw conclusions. Let's just assume it was a coincidence that the FBI published a report before Epstein's suicide that declared conspiracy theorists were the biggest threat, domestic threat to the homeland. No mention of Antifa and their tendency to wear thongs while throwing bombs and bike locks at people's heads. But conspiracy theorists are the biggest threat to the homeland. They mentioned Pizzagate. It's true. A lot of your government officials are pedophiles. And the reason why I suspect that isn't just because I've decided that even when we hold all branches of government, we can't get anything done because somebody must know something on somebody. But I say that because we have a secret $17 million fund that lawmakers pay settlements out of from allegations brought against them of sexual abuse and impropriety. This is real life. America has divorces. She's got single moms, single dads, deadbeat moms, deadbeat dads. She's got abortions on demand. She's got an overtaxed, underrepresented citizenry who can't see or feel the noose tightening around their neck. She's got a rogue government that hates its people and care more about providing sanctuary for illegal immigrants who are not vaccinated, who are bringing tuberculosis, typhus, typhoid, etc. to our land, and superbugs that we can't even treat. America has a declining birth rate because her women are angry, bitter, and think knitted pink hats are actually going to do something. She's the queen of porn. No other country distributes more filth than America. She ranks 38th on the global scale of education. Her children are fragile and her adults are demented. And a lot of her people want everything free and they want to live off the government teat. And that's exactly what the powers in charge want. They want the 60 million patriots who voted for Trump. And whether we don't... I voted for Trump. I got on my knees the election day morning and I prayed, God, help me make the right choice for this country. And I do think that Trump was brought to power by God, but I don't think he was brought to power for the reasons that a lot of people assume. I think he was brought into power to expose the idols and the false gods that we Americans have put our faith in for so long. So Trump is a trumpet. And he is signaling that it is time to get your house in order. And if you think God can't use Trump, a blowhard, a narcissist, who tweets out quotes of him being the second coming of God and refers to himself as the chosen one when talking about trade talks with China. If you think that God can't even use him, well, then you must forget he chose to use a donkey. He made a donkey talk to prove his point. Nothing is impossible with God. So for this week's Kimspiracy, I'll leave you with this. We're trapped. It's too late. It's too long gone. It's been festering for too long, and we took our eye off the ball a long time ago. We wanted big houses, big cars, and big debt that we couldn't afford, and we got distracted. And we took our eye off the people that work for us, and now we are trapped. The same companies that let our data be stolen are the same companies that our government now says they want to work with to determine if you are sane enough to exercise your first and second God-given amendment right. America is not what you think she is. And there's going to be disclosures. I doubt we'll see justice, but there's going to be disclosures that are going to come out that are going to psychologically break you. But remember this. Keep your eyes on Jesus. That is the only truth. Not Trump, not TV, not your phone, nothing. When everything is chaotic and up is down and down is up and people are crazy, just remember, God's got it. Keep your eyes on him. But watch. Watch. I know it's not fun to think that your country is not what you thought it was, but our country is not what we thought it was. And America has no truth. And that is the most frightening Kimspiracy that I can think of. We'll break down more. We'll talk about, that you need to know what's happening with your data. I've given up. I'm in. They've got me. I mean, you could take your phone and throw it over the Black Warrior Bridge. It doesn't matter. If you've got a relatively brand new refrigerator, well, they can track you that way. We're trapped. So be prepared. Be prepared to mourn the loss of America, the American dream that is dead, and accepting that is painful, but it's true. And as much as I hope that Trump is what he says he is, I don't know. When he said that, when he recited that poem about the snake and he claimed to be talking about Hillary, he might just have been talking about himself. Because we knew who Trump was when we elected him. We knew who he was. But do we know who we are? You're about to find out. buckle up, pray, and I'll see you next week.